Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper, a woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver? I kind of like the high five, but if you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. At ChumbaCasino.com, choose from hundreds of social casino-style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses, so don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18 plus.
What's going on, my awesome friend? Welcome back to the Having It All podcast. I am Matthew Bivens, your balanced lifestyle coach. And if you can't tell, I am pretty darn excited and happy that you're hanging out with me today on this beautiful Thursday. So this week, from Monday through Friday, I have dubbed this Having It All Week. And my intention is to drop some new content for you, some cool conversations that are just going to help you to remain present and focused and keeping you moving in that direction of consciously creating your abundant, loving life. Because right now there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. And if you tune into that news and you hang out on social media too much, it's going to create some fear. It's easy for that fear to get in. So I want to keep us focused on love and abundance. And that's what we're doing this whole week. Again, Monday through Friday. On Monday, we had a cool conversation about date ideas. Ideas for how to date yourself, how to date your partner, and how to date your family when you are at home, right? And that conversation came from my amazing friends, Bill and Nancy Jameson from the Sex, Money, and Real Estate podcast. So please go check them out. They had some really, really cool conversations over there, and they're just some awesome folks. On Tuesday, I put together a process for you to achieve your goals. Because right now, you have some great time on your hands. You have this opportunity to take a large step in the direction of a goal in your life, right? You have this cool opportunity just to work towards something. So I want you to get clear and focused on what it is you want to work on and then take those steps forward. So we had a whole conversation on Tuesday about that, and I gave you a free resource, which is a goal worksheet, achieving your goal worksheet, which you can go pick up as well. So go check out that episode from Tuesday. On Wednesday, we did something that I've never done on the podcast, and I shared a meditation with you. And this meditation came from Katie Kremitzos from the Women's Meditation Network podcast. And she put together a very specific, very intentional meditation for coronavirus anxiety. And this meditation is for everybody, men, women, children, everybody. And it's something that you can turn to whenever you're feeling a little stressed, whenever you're feeling a little anxious or a little worried, and you want to get back into your center. So that was yesterday's episode, and I received some really, really awesome feedback on that. So go check it out. Today, I want to share with you some stories. I want to share a couple of stories because there are a lot of stories floating around right now. And the ones that I have been seeing and hearing are so beautiful, full of so much love, so empowering, so optimistic. And I want to share them with you because there's a lesson in these stories. And I'll share that after I tell you these four different stories. So they're real quick. And the first is right at the very beginning of all this stuff going down, right when folks were just hoarding toilet paper left and right. It was about 8 days into the toilet paper hoard. And I was in Target, and we hadn't had or seen any toilet paper for 8 days. So I'm in Target, and I walk in, and they have a huge pallet of, that did have a bunch of toilet paper stacked on, and there's like a couple of packs left. So I grabbed the pack, and I'm continuing my shopping, walking through the store, and I end up chatting with a lady. Just, she seemed nice, and we were both being friendly with each other and chatting. And as I'm heading to the register, I see a gentleman walk up to this woman because she also had some toilet paper. And he asked her, "Hey, where did you get that from?" And I'm like 10 feet behind them. And he asked her, where did you get your toilet paper from? And she said, oh, they had a pallet near the door. And he just looks, dejected, like, man, there's none left. It's all gone. And she responded, well, hey, I'll split this pack with you. And you could see his face like, whoa, really? He had a mask on, by the way. And she's like, yeah, no problem. Just come to me to the register and I'll pay for it and I'll open it up and I'll split it with you. And it was so cool for me to watch that. I was just behind them, walking a few paces behind them as we were all heading towards the register. And to see that little bit of humanity and love and sharing with another person who's in the same circumstance that we are all in, it was so beautiful to see in the midst of so many news stories about toilet paper shortages, right? So it was awesome to see that and to experience it for myself firsthand.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Discover new opportunities together in a new Chevy. Meet up in an Equinox, winner of the J.D. Power Award for initial quality among compact SUVs. Lend a hand in the strong and capable Silverado, or mix it up in a high-tech Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Find family, friends, and fun in the Chevy that's right for you. Click to learn more. Chevrolet, together let's drive. For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
This other story I want to share with you comes from a buddy of mine. He lives in a neighborhood here in Atlanta that it's like a super tight-knit, awesome, close, connected community. All these different homes, and it's one of those neighborhoods where when you roll up on Halloween, like they block off the streets and the whole neighborhood is trick-or-treating with each other. Parents, kids, everybody's walking around. It's like one big party. It's one of those neighborhoods. So one of his neighbors owned a restaurant, and the restaurant closed like all other restaurants did. And this guy has all this food that he wanted to do something with. So he cooked up, he has a barbecue joint. He cooked up all of this barbecue. And my friend tells me that he sees his neighbor driving around in a golf cart in the neighborhood handing out sandwiches. Just handing out barbecue sandwiches to people. Like, hey, here, have this abundance. I want to share in this with you. And he's done it multiple times. Spent hours cooking up food to then give out to folks in his neighborhood for free. Such a beautiful thing. So awesome. The next story that I heard, this one came from Sarah. So she was on a walk recently with a friend, and they were just walking and talking. And again, the midst of all this stuff going on, they come across this house. They're walking through a neighborhood, and they see in front of the house is a fence, like a white fence. And there's a big sign on the fence. And underneath the sign is a bucket of chalk. And the sign says, leave us a loving message. Write something loving on our fence. And scrawled all over the fence in all these different colors were people, neighbors, who had been just leaving messages on their fence in chalk. And Sarah said it was the most beautiful thing, like almost brought her to tears, to see how many people had stopped, whether they were jogging or walking or doing whatever. They had stopped, grabbed this chalk, and left a message of love. And to see how that love was literally spreading, not just on this person's fence, but spreading through that neighborhood. It was amazing. So incredible. Such an awesome display of people pouring love into one another. The next story I want to share, another quick one. A buddy of mine was driving down the street, and he looks over and he sees a father and daughter outside, and they're both wearing masks, but they have this huge sign. And on the sign is a big smiley face, like one of those big classic smiley faces. And they're just waving at people, waving at cars as they go by, and spreading some joy and spreading some love to folks as they're driving. And my friend was so touched by it. He parked his car, he went over to them, had a really amazing conversation, asked them, like, why are you doing this? What are you up to? And they just wanted to pour some love out into the community. They wanted to brighten some people's day, put a smile on people's face. And so they were out there it's like, hey, we got this time. Why don't we make other people feel better with our time? Why don't we pour into others? And he just talked about how touched he was for that. And my buddy's a magician, so he did some tricks with them and he made them smile. Like they were making the rest of the people smile, so he did a great gesture and made them smile and laugh in exchange. And it was just a beautiful thing for me to hear as he shared it with me. The last story that I'll share is something that I've seen on Instagram. And I have been seeing individuals who will do Instagram live posts, and they will read storybooks to kids so that kids can tune in and hear a story, right, a new story, and give the parents a break. So these individuals are taking their time to go live, read a story, entertain the kids, and simultaneously give their parents a little bit of a rest. And I thought that was the coolest thing, because I'm here with Maya. She's in the other room right now doing some fun stuff. And it's like, it's a whole different experience, all right? Maya normally goes to school, and now she's at home, and you're like, oh, wow, what am I going to do with my child for all these hours, for all this time? So to see these individuals on Instagram just give their time to be able to entertain the kids and help out the parents, it's such a beautiful thing, right? It's like they don't have to do that. And now the reason I wanted to share all these stories with you is because I have been seeing these things, witnessing them and hearing about them a lot. And part of the reason why that's happening is because I have tuned my receiver to that frequency. I have tuned my receiver to the frequency of love, of abundance, of optimism, of opportunity, of joy, of community, of compassion. And so as a result, that's what I'm picking up. And now I want to ask you the question, what things are you picking up? What stories are you hearing? What stories are you seeing? What examples are you seeing? Are they loving, joyful, cooperative examples and stories, or are they something else? Because you are picking up whatever you're tuning your frequency to, whatever you're tuning your dial to, that is what you're picking up. It's just like in your car radio. If you want to hear country music, you tune it to the country station. If you want to hear talk radio, you tune it to that station. If you want to hear some hip hop, you tune it to that station, right? It works the same way. Because right now, if you want to hear stories of hopelessness and despair and pandemic and death, oh, they're out there. All you got to do is tune your receiver and you'll hear them. You'll pick them up. And so if that's what you've been receiving a lot of, and you're feeling the rise in anxiety and stress and worry within yourself, look at where your receiver is pointed to. Because there are stories of love, of friendship, of compassion. There are beautiful things happening right now. They just might be on a different frequency. You just might not be tuning into them. And so part of the way to stay in your power right now and to keep your mind focused on creating your abundant, loving life is to ensure that you are tuning your dial to the appropriate station, to the appropriate frequency. And so what does that actually look like? Practically speaking, what does that look like? Well, for me, it means not participating in the channels that I know are not delivering those stories. And so I am spending very, 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 very minimal time on any news site right now because I know they're not sharing those types of stories. I understand it. I understand they need to share numbers. They need to share, hey, this is what's going on. This is the things that people need to know. I get that. And I trust that any information I absolutely need to know is going to come to me. And it has. Anytime that my city has done something, my county has done something, my state has done something that impacts me, I've received text messages from it. I've had people come up to me in conversation, the news gets to me. I receive it. So I don't need to set my tuner. I don't need to tune into that frequency to hear the information that I need to hear. It's been similar with social media, right? It's been a really awesome opportunity to unfollow people, to mute people, right? Because this is just a chance to see like what type of like station they're broadcasting, what information they're broadcasting from. So it's like, okay, cool. I'm not interested in receiving that information, that story, that energy. I'm going to switch to a different channel. And so practically speaking, that is one way that you can dial in to a different type of story. But it also has to do with your own thinking, your own thoughts. Because if you have a thought in your mind, what you're going to do is you're going to seek out evidence that what you're thinking and believing is accurate and correct. So if you are thinking and believing that this is hopeless, that this is, incredibly tragic, that this is whatever it is, you will then go and seek out confirmation of that. And you will be blind to anything that contradicts that, anything that doesn't align with that. So you'll miss the stories that are beautiful and loving. You'll miss them, even if they're right in front of your face, because what you're seeking is confirmation of that thought and belief that you have in your mind. So you need to be aware of that if you want to experience an abundant, loving life. You may not want to have that experience right now, and I get that. I totally get that. Everybody has choice, right? You get to choose the experience that you want.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
But if you're playing to experience peace right now, a little more presence right now, a little less anxiety right now, a little less worry right now, more joy. If you're playing to be in your power, then you need to be making sure that you're doing those things that allow you to have that experience. You got to make sure that you're being aware of any thoughts that are creating beliefs that you're then going and confirming, which are taking you out of your joy, taking you out of your peace. You need to be aware of any frequency or channel that you're tuning into where the energy, the vibe, the conversation, the stories that are coming from that channel are messing with your peace, are causing you anxiety. You got to be aware of that stuff. You need to be proactive in designing an environment that supports the experience that you want to have. So if you don't want to have a certain experience, then don't step into certain environments. Don't place yourself in certain environments. Don't place yourself around certain conversations. And you have the ability to do that. You have influence over that. And let's say, because this is a real example, a friend of mine, he's mostly staying at home, right? Lives with his parents. And his parents are consuming all of the stuff that's just creating stress and anxiety. Like they're just dialed in hardcore to those frequencies. And anything that they hear, they share with him. It's like, new piece of news, boom, son, you need to know this. Are you doing this? Why are you doing that? It's inundating. If that's the type of situation you find yourself in, you just need to be very aware that in that case, you've got to step up your own self-care game. You've got to step up your own game and making sure you're insulating yourself as much as you possibly can from that type of information, from that type of story. So that might look like really working on holding a space of compassion for those individuals who want to share those disempowering or those fearful things with you. It might look like saying, hey, I'm complete with engaging in those types of conversations with you. It might look like you spending a lot more time reading empowering stories, listening to empowering material, watching empowering things. You might have to flood your senses with love and abundance like crazy in order to counteract a lot of the fear and scarcity that you might be receiving from your immediate environment. Again, awareness and proactivity. Those are the things that are going to help you to stay in your peace and stay in your power. And I also understand that it is not easy. It is not easy right now. There's so many circumstances at play that are so different. Things that you've never experienced before. And it's challenging to remember to use your tools, to remember to deposit into yourself, to remember to avoid those conversations and environments that don't serve you. It's challenging to do that in the midst of circumstance. But I will remind you that this right now is when it matters most. This is when the rubber meets the road. I've said it over the past couple of weeks. When the seas are calm, it doesn't really matter how many great tools you have because it's easy to use them when seas are calm. It's when the seas are rough and the waves are big and you don't know when those waves are going to stop. And it looks like every next wave looks like it's going to be the one to capsize your boat. That is when you dig into your tools. That's when it matters to practice your faith. That's when it matters to maintain an abundant, loving perspective. And so one of the ways that you can tell whether or not you're being effective in that right now is by the stories that you're hearing. It's by the examples that you're seeing. It's by the information that you're receiving based on what you're tuning into. Use that as a guide to tell you, okay, I'm tuning into this frequency. Am I enjoying the experience I'm having when I'm listening to this frequency? If not, do what you need to do to be able to dial into a different frequency so that you can have a different experience. I know I'm playing to experience as much abundance and love through all this as I possibly can. And as a result, I'm seeing and receiving and hearing so many abundant, loving stories. And I invite you, if you have some abundant, loving, beautiful, empowering stories, share them with me. Share them with me. I would love to hear them myself, and I would love to share them with others. Because we all have the ability to tune in to those higher frequencies, those beautiful vibrations. Just tune into those channels. We all have the ability to do that. And I, for one, want to flood those airwaves with abundance and love. So you can connect with me at matthewbivens.com to share your stories. You can also go to Instagram, Matthew_Bivens, and leave me a voice note or leave me a video or just type it out. Whatever you want to do to share your stories of love and friendship and community and abundance. I'm open to receiving them, and I'm open to sharing them with others. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today, tuning into this frequency to get your tank filled up with a little bit of abundance and love. And tomorrow's going to be a lot of fun because I am talking all about podcasting. Yes, this is such a cool time to consider starting a podcast. So I'm going to share with you how you can do that, how you can do it easily, how you can do it quickly, and how you can start getting your voice and your message and your story out into the airwaves because, as we've been talking about today, the world could use more abundance and love right now. So that's going to be tomorrow. I highly encourage you to come check it out and go out there and be awesome. Go spread love. Go spread joy. Go tune your radio into that channel where you're just receiving all those beautiful stories and conversations. All right. Keep it awesome. My name is Matthew Bivens. Here's to you having it all. Quick note about the Having It All podcast. I am not a doctor nor a licensed therapist. I'm a guy with a story and a passion for conscious conversation. My thoughts, opinions, and beliefs are my own. So please consult with your doctor or healthcare provider regarding any questions or issues you have related to your personal physical or mental health.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.